Welcome to the sixth episode of United Talk, everybody. We've got lots of stuff to talk about. We apologize for not releasing this episode earlier due to some technical problems, but as a result, we've got so much more to talk about. We've got the game against QPR, we've got the game against West Ham, the game against Reading, three big games, and we've got lots of news from around the league, the rest of Europe, and we've got a player salute as well. So let's get things started off with the game against QPR. What do you think about that game, Annie?
Yeah, hi guys. QPR game, yet another strange game in a strange season for United. Very dull until about the second half where we finally woke up and Anderson came on, and as Fergie said after the match, we only played for 10-15 minutes really. Conceded a sloppy goal.
Very sloppy.
Bit lax at the corner to notice a short corner, and Mackie scoring for QPR. Thought Lindegaard could have done slightly better, but well, what can you say really? We always bounce back. That's what we do. Anderson came on, injected a bit of speed and pace in proceedings, and we got 2 goals from corners, which is again a trait that has been happening this season. We're scoring a lot of goals from set pieces, which I'm happy to see.
Also defender scoring as well.
Yeah, and Johnny Evans, reacting really quickly for the equalizer, and then Darren Fletcher, I'm really happy for him. He got the goal, and he deserves that. He still looks like he has some way to go to being the player he once was, but I mean, this is a giant step on the road back, I felt.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, really a strange game. I mean, I was predicting 3-1 at the beginning, and I was happy to see my predictions come through.
Yeah.
But not the way I was predicting. I predicted that United would probably score a couple of goals, and then QPR would pull one back, but then United would see it through. But QPR scored first.
Yeah.
And yes, as you said, lax defending. Against better teams, we need to defend better. I mean, because, this was QPR. We were lucky enough to play against a subpar team, and so we managed to score 3 goals. But,
yeah.
sloppy defending. But then, as you mentioned, Anderson came on and really changed the game.
Yeah, I think that was typified by the third goal, the Hernandez goal. Anderson just went past 2 players, immediately played the pass to Hernandez.
Yeah, great pass as well.
Yeah, brilliant pass. He saw the run, and Hernandez, one touch, boom, in the back of the net.
It was similar to the pass Anderson played for Hernandez in the League Cup against Chelsea.
Yep.
If you remember, that was a great pass as well.
Slides the ball through with pace, and
slots at home, yes. And Anderson changed the game. Really happy to see Darren Fletcher on the score sheet.
Yeah.
A long way back for him, but he's come through, and he's been a regular part of the United side in recent weeks.
Yeah.
And Johnny Evans scoring his 3rd league goal this season.
Yeah, we finally have defenders who are a threat at corners. I mean, we had Vidic doing that back in the day, but last couple of years I thought he wasn't that much of a threat anymore. Maybe he was getting marked much more tightly or whatever.
Yeah, but Johnny Evans has stepped up. Credit to him.
Yeah.
All right, Annie, quickly give me your top 3 players for the QPR game.
Well, like I said, in the 15-minute period that we were good, I would say Anderson, Hernandez, and Johnny Evans for the reasons that we already discussed.
Yes, I'd have to agree with Anderson as well. Came on and changed the game.
Yeah.
I picked Darren Fletcher because I think he overall had a nice, solid game.
Yeah.
Looked decent enough in midfield and managed to get up at the other end and score a goal.
Yeah.
And Johnny Evans for me.
Yeah.
I thought I don't think he was really at fault for the goal we conceded, but he got us back in the game.
Yeah, true.
And that was great. All right. Here's our top 3.
So done with the QPR, and then moving on to West Ham at Old Trafford. Midweek game, and what did you make of that? Okay.
Oh, yeah, midweek game, like 3 or 4 days after the QPR game, bound to be a few tired legs, but earlier that day, Theo Walcott has set a record for the fastest goal this season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Poor old Theo, that lasted for all of 20 minutes before RVP popped up with 33 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
First attack, first goal, boom.
And I think
of course,
that was almost the only action we saw, because it was a dreadful game in many ways.
Dreadful. I mean, this is, if this is how all games would be in football, then this sport is close to dead. I mean, this was a sloppy game, I think, both from United's point of view and West Ham's as well.
Yeah.
And there were so many times when it looked like West Ham might come back. Lindegaard made a couple of great saves. They played some good football.
Yeah.
Kevin Nolan, Mark Noble, Carlton Cole, they were all playing really well together.
Yeah.
But, United held on and got the 1-0.
Yeah, and again, we never really got going. A Van Persie goal was special, of course, but that was, the only action pretty much happened, like you said, in the first 33 seconds. And but I'm surprised, a 1-0 win for United. I mean, we were harping on about that, and we wanted that, and you didn't know we had it in us.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, to keep a clean sheet, it really pains me to say it, but this season keeping a clean sheet has become somewhat of a rarity.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see United keep a clean sheet and for this game.
Definitely, and impressed with Lindegaard's performance as well. Some key saves and look.
Yes, great saves.
Yeah, and who are your top three players, would you say, for the West Ham game?
I picked Van Persie just for that moment of brilliance.
Yeah.
Although he faded away after that goal,
Yeah.
but just still goal to goal. Then I picked Lindegaard, who made some good saves
Yeah.
and who really recovered from his possible blunder against QPR, where he should have come out to get the ball.
Yeah.
And then I picked Anderson. I thought, it's difficult to pick a third player,
Yeah.
so I just picked one who was marginally better than the others.
Yeah.
Nothing really special from him, but
Yeah.
it's a comparative
Yeah.
system here.
I would agree with your first. I agree with RVP and Lindegaard, but our third pick was Chris Smalling. I thought
Yes, also
after
played
the
well.
sort of bullying he got from Bentek, he actually looked quite strong and he was pretty solid at the back. And obviously we kept a clean sheet, so delighted with that. And I thought one of the defenders needed a mention. So it was Chris Smalling.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with Smalling as well. I think, scoring a goal this early has a few disadvantages
Yeah.
as well, meaning as you play with, 1 foot behind the ball throughout the game.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on. Speaking of clean sheets, we certainly didn't keep one in the next match that we had against Reading.
Oh God.
Wow, that was a clanger. So let's talk about that, Annie.
Well, I mean, it was highly entertaining game of football. It's almost like being apologetic for our performance versus West Ham and trying to make up for it. And Reading
I'd agree
certainly
with
contributed to that as well. 2 goals conceded from corners, Nicky Shorey deliveries, and it looked every time the ball came into the box, they looked like they were going to score. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies, to be honest. And
Nicky Shorey, the left back, for God's sake.
yeah, and Raphael coming off after, what was it, 30 minutes, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
He was
and I
so
thought it was quite
uncomfortable.
unfortunate because he looked absolutely distraught on the bench
Yeah.
when he sat down, and it wasn't really his fault for the goals. I thought Lindegaard was to blame for some of them because he didn't come out when he should have. I also thought that Johnny Evans had a poor game, which is rare this season for him because he's been one of our better players.
Yes, very solid this season.
Yeah.
I think Raphael was carrying a little bit of a knock as well,
Yeah,
perhaps.
and he got a yellow card, so.
Yeah.
But
Best
on the other hand, you have to say we always give ourselves a chance with our attacking play, and that's something we always back ourselves to score. I thought Ashley Young had his first really good game of the season. He looked really impressive on the left. He and Evra were linking up really well. Most of our threat was down the left. I think.
Yes. Evra was playing particularly well.
Yeah, and putting good deliveries in the box, and great assist from Rooney for RVP's goal. So our attacking play was a highlight of the game, and the defensive play was definitely a shambles.
Yeah, I think especially this set piece problem this season has been quite traumatic, I would say.
Yeah.
Conceding on the regular. I mean, every time we see the ball go into the box, every United fan's heart just stops.
Yeah.
And this really, I mean, for a team as well formed and as well coached as Manchester United, set pieces, shouldn't be a problem. This is football 101. This is fundamentals.
Yeah, definitely.
Ball comes in the box, you got to clear it no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think United have not done that at all this season.
Yeah.
And once again we dug ourselves out of a hole.
Yeah.
They scored, then we scored twice, and they scored twice, and we scored twice. I mean, 34 minutes, 7 goals.
Yeah, incredible.
Here's what, and after that the game just turned into, flatness.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
RVP had a chance that he
I've
scuffed,
noticed
but
in football in general, all these years of watching football, you have these games which are a game of 2 halves basically, and the first half you might find really entertaining, and everyone goes in at halftime, and the managers tell them, listen, you can't be doing this. And they come out second half, and it's so tight, and it was goalless. Who would have thought that at halftime?
Yeah, I was honestly expecting like a 6-5 or some just crazy score.
Yeah.
But we ended up with 4-3. Top 3 players, Annie?
I'd have to say Wayne Rooney.
Of course.
Confident penalty. Thank God for that. Very composed finish for his goal. I'd have to say Anderson, doing what I always wanted him to do, just shoot a little bit more with power. Unfortunate with the injury. I mean, just when he was hitting a bit of form, he suffered a hamstring injury, some setback to the lad, and but also, like I said earlier, very happy with Ashley Young's performance. What about you?
I had Rooney as well, obviously.
Yeah.
2 goals, an assist,
Yeah.
just an all-round great performance.
Yeah.
I had RVP, although I mean he missed a couple of chances, but in the end it was his goal that gave us the win ultimately.
Yeah.
And then I picked Anderson, just a great run and finish for the goal that brought us back into the game at 1-1.
Yeah, true.
Really unfortunate with the injury. I mean, I hope he's able to at least regain some of his form when he comes back. Should be a couple of weeks at most.
Yeah, me too. Because he's looking in the last few weeks like a brighter spark, and we need someone from midfield who can drive forward, who's got a threat, and you can score, can take a pass.
He's also looking like a super sub, if you've noticed.
Yeah.
He comes on, changes the game when other players are tiring. Anderson comes on with just that pace
I
and
think
power.
after the injury, maybe Fergie was thinking, that's why I don't play him from the start.
He's got a point there then.
Yeah, but he needs games to improve his fitness, and it's unfortunate that now he's had this setback, but...
Yes, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, moving on the rest of the league roundup, and Rafa Benitez, coming as Chelsea manager, had 3 games: Man City home, Fulham at home, and then West Ham away. What did you make of those first three games for Benitez?
Oh, well, Rafa Benitez, a proven coach. I mean, come on, we all know about his pedigree.
Yeah.
He's won the Euro, back when it was called the Euro Cup. He won it with Valencia, and he won the La Liga with Valencia, then he won the Champions League with Liverpool. I mean, this guy is a proven coach.
Yeah.
Despite all his mistakes and his rather strange handling of the press, this guy's a professional.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a good find for Chelsea to actually get Rafa Benitez in at a time of crisis when the club were, managerless.
Well, the Chelsea fans certainly don't think so. Rafa out, and amongst other banners.
Rafa out, yes. I mean, lots of other banners, and I don't think this isn't the right way to go about supporting your club. I think, you don't support your club because of what the manager is or what the player is. You support your club because it's your club.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that Chelsea fans are showing such blatant disregard for their owner's choice of manager. I mean, come on, he's your owner. He's keeping your club running.
Yeah.
He should get to choose who he thinks is best for the management position. And I think Benitez needs more time. I think he needs more support.
Yeah.
But, of course, I'm saying all this, but Chelsea really haven't shown anything to, back my
Yeah, I
support
mean, if you look at, moving aside from this and on to the actual results on the pitch, I think they've been very disappointing. Chelsea, Man City game, I thought Man City was a team more likely to win the match.
Then again, a creditable draw against Man City. You have to remember, this is one of the premier teams in the league.
Yeah, but so are Chelsea. I mean, and they were playing at home at Stamford Bridge, so... And Rafa Benitez has come in. He said, okay, we need to sort the defense out first. That's what Benitez is known for, defensive organization and all of that. And they've got, that certainly happened against Man City and Fulham, but then they went away at West Ham and lost 3-1.
And they got trounced.
Yeah,
they scored first, but...
They injected some pace into proceedings, Sam Allardyce, when he made his substitutions, and suddenly the game just turned.
Diame came in, he was a beast.
Yeah, exactly. So...
the thing is, Chelsea scored first, and then, I keep saying this, good coached professional teams should be holding 1-0 positions.
Yeah.
Of course, it's difficult, and it's easy for me to say, but they should be holding 1-0 positions. And then Chelsea just threw it away, and as a result, they are now 10 points off the top. 10 points, that is huge.
Yeah.
And, just their performance has not, will not give their fans any encouragement as to what is to come.
Yeah, I think it's also something that seems to be happening at Chelsea with some perplexing regularity, because I remember under Scolari they had a incredible start to the season.
And then a huge dip.
Yeah, and then a huge dip. And then now again, they were leading the league just a few weeks back, and now suddenly...
Yes, exactly.
There's so many problems.
So
Managers
dangerous.
got sacked, and, there's no one now for so many games, and...
I'll tell you what the turning point was.
Yeah.
The defeat against Manchester United.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that was definitely the turning point. Not in terms of a result. I mean, United are a class team.
Yeah.
And to lose, just by a small margin against them.
Yeah.
But after that, Chelsea just fell apart.
Yeah.
Just crumbled to pieces. And I think right now they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and I think he's just got to rebuild that confidence in not just Torres, but a lot of players at Chelsea.
Oh, Torres, don't even get me. Torres is a lost cause right now.
Yeah.
I mean, when he won the Euro last season and he won the top scorer of the European Championship and he won the Champions League,
yeah.
I honestly thought this season Torres would start in fine form. I mean, he had all the confidence he needed.
Yeah.
He was playing with so many creative players.
Yeah, exactly.
And now look at where he is.
Yeah, in many ways, I think he is the one holding Chelsea back.
Indeed, they really need to invest in a top-class forward.
Yeah, and
Or better yet, they shouldn't invest in a top-class forward and continue to drop points.
yeah, and also moving on, talking about very rich teams, Man City drawing at home to Everton. What were your thoughts on that game?
Well, Man City, Everton scored first. Fellaini scored.
Yeah,
Great player, Fellaini. He's been class this season.
absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely class. And then Fellaini scored, and then after that, he conceded a penalty,
yeah.
which Carlos Tevez smashed right down the middle.
And I mean, I wasn't really convinced by the penalty decision by the referee.
Yeah, it looked a bit suspect, but many do nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to understand, referees have one chance and one chance only to make a penalty decision. So you give it or you don't.
Yeah, and well, I thought also that Everton have a really good record against Man City. Actually, they're one of their bogey teams. I think Man City don't like playing against Everton.
Oh, that's I never noticed, but I have noticed Everton this season in general.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive.
Yeah, they are, but also I have to say that they've been having a lot of draws lately because they drew versus Fulham, they drew versus Reading. Did they draw versus Norwich as well? I think.
I think their last win was a draw versus Norwich as well.
Yeah, and then against Man City, so struggling.
They lost against Reading. Their last win was against Sunderland way back on the 10th of November.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ages ago.
Yeah.
But still, they're only 3 points off third place.
Yeah.
This is the tight team league. You've got the Manchester clubs leading the way with a huge 7-point gap between City and Chelsea.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you've got the pack chasing after them.
Yeah, and also in that pack, Arsenal. And what did you make of their game against Swansea at the Emirates?
No, I'm sorry, Arsenal in that pack. I'm not sure which Arsenal you're talking about. The Arsenal I'm looking at is sitting way down in 10th place.
Oh wow.
Hello, Arsenal, can you see me? Wow, I mean, talk about drops in form.
Yeah.
They went out, they got Podolski, they got Giroud, they got Cazorla.
Yeah.
And I thought this season Arsenal were the team to watch out for. They finally had a core of experienced, but still not that old players.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had a very proven talent in Giroud, top scorer in the League One last season.
Yeah, and I've been impressed with Giroud, and we've discussed him earlier on the show, and we both were...
Yeah, we talked about him last time, but now... I mean, the way Arsenal have fallen, culminating in their latest defeat against Swansea 2-0.
Yeah.
And I watched part of that game. I mean, Arsenal were looking absolutely... I mean, there are no words to describe how poor they were in that game.
Yeah, I actually thought Swansea could have won by more than just 2 goals.
Easily could have won 3-4-0, maybe even more. I mean, just shambolic stuff from Arsenal.
Talking about those 2 goals, though, I have to say, Michu, what a signing has he been. 2 brilliant, so composed in his finishing.
I'll tell you what, if he keeps up even half of this form for the rest of the season, he's got my pick for signing of the season.
Yeah, 2 million.
RVP be damned, it's Michu for signing of the season.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I didn't even know who he was before he came here.
Yeah, 2 million.
Now he's setting the league alight.
And the irony is that Michu is the kind of player that Arsene Wenger would have been, famous for signing back in the day, like a low-cost player who suddenly comes in and lights the league apart and, everyone's suddenly noticing him. But, Arsenal just so disappointing. They have the same problems, very lethargic. Wenger was blaming fatigue after the match. A lot of questions now being asked whether he's the right man to be in charge at Arsenal. And
I think that's unfair. I mean, you look at Wenger, what's it been, 16, 17 years since he's managing Arsenal?
Yeah.
He's top 4 finish every year.
Yeah, but...
I mean, name me one other coach who could do that.
I mean, is that a be-all and end-all, finishing in the top 4?
I mean, it's not just that. I mean, Arsenal have won trophies under him, of course.
Yeah.
They went unbeaten.
Yeah.
They've won the FA Cup. They've reached the final of the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a club that when Wenger came to was good.
Yeah.
But Wenger made them great.
Yeah, I agree.
For a brief moment.
But
unfortunately, now it looks like they're falling. And I wouldn't say it's completely Wenger's fault.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I would say some of the blame lies in him. When you sell your best players and don't replace them, some of the blame lies on you.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'd have to say, the way things turned out. I mean, he had players that he personally bled in, that he helped mature, and then decided to leave him. Can you imagine if Ryan Giggs had done that or if Paul Scholes had done that? Where would United be right now?
Yeah, true. I think, partly, as you said, Wenger's fault, partly circumstances outside his control, the influx of money into the game, Man City, Chelsea. I mean, post Abramovich, Arsenal haven't won a trophy. apart from the 2005
Actually,
FA
I
Cup.
think the thing is the rest of the league is getting better
Yeah.
while Arsenal are staying more or less in the same plane.
Exactly, and that's very dangerous for them. Last season, they can say they did what they always do, finished above Spurs, but for a long time it looked like they weren't going to do that. And the second
Yeah,
half,
they pulled it
they
out,
pulled
pulled it out of the bag in
yeah.
the end. But I think this season they need to step it up fast.
Yeah. Because I mean, if he keeps saying that finishing in the top four is like a trophy, it's a priority. My question is, what happens when you don't finish in the top four then?
Of course, the thing is, if you look at the league table, they're only 5 points off Chelsea in third place.
Yeah.
Of course, they've got 6 more teams between them and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Which is of huge concern. They've got Stoke in front of them. They've got West Ham in front of them. Swansea in front of them.
Yeah.
Everton.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, this is Arsenal. They've got top quality class players. They should be winning games on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, but I think this season the Premier League has been, you know, miraculous.
Yeah.
Just in the
That's
level
true.
of
And
play
like,
of all
like
the
we said, I mean, a lot of credit to Swansea. The way they played are breathtaking.
Absolutely. A lot of credit to Michael Laudrup as well.
Yeah.
He's really come in and continued the good work that Brendan Rodgers did.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Liverpool are languishing in 11th place. So, you know, good choice, Brendan. Anyway, moving on, we've got a roundup of the rest of Europe as well. Lots of action there.
Yeah.
Let's start off with in Spain, where we had the Madrid derby with Atletico in front of Real Madrid for the first time in a long, long time.
Yeah.
How did that game turn out, Annie?
Well, as usual, the derby was a disappointment. Real Madrid winning again. How long has it been since Atletico Madrid actually beat Real Madrid?
I believe it's 1999 was the last time they beat them.
Wow.
So it's what? 13 years? Incredible.
Yeah, most one-sided derby in recent history, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, a lot of credit to Real Madrid for that. And Ronaldo, brilliant free kick. He loves scoring free kicks against Atletico, I think.
Yeah,
Did one.
he scored
placed
lots of
one
goals
last
against
season as
Atletico.
well, and yeah.
Of course, he scored lots of goals in general. He scored 60 goals so far this year.
Wow. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But I think Atletico were off the pace as well. I mean, this is the team that's been fabulous this season.
Yeah.
You know, scoring goals left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And you know they've got Falcao.
Yeah.
I mean, what more can you say about
Yeah.
him? But he was so anonymous against Real. I think Pepe had the measure of him.
Yeah.
Kept him out of the game, locked him out. Game over.
Yeah.
Atletico reduced to just speculative long
Yeah.
shots and passes that never made it through.
Yeah.
And in the end, a comfortable win for Real.
Yeah, but I mean, apart from good win for Real, but you have to say a lot of strange goings on at the Bernabeu. A lot of reports today in the press saying that, in the Spanish press, saying that Mourinho and Florentino Perez have basically fallen out, and he's going to leave the club in June, and that's now a done deal basically. And there were problems with the fans. So after the midweek game in which they won in the cup, Mourinho told the fans to come to the Bernabeu stadium 40 minutes before the game against Atletico, so you could have an interaction with them. But only 5,000 of them turned up, and it was difficult to understand what the real feeling of the fans were. But he's being booed quite a bit by Real Madrid supporters, and seems to have a rather touchy relationship with his bosses at the club as well.
Yes, but that's so unfair. I mean, you look at Mourinho. He came into a league that was dominated by Barcelona, and let's face it, this is the best team I have ever seen play.
Yeah.
This Barcelona team is the best team I've ever seen play.
Yeah.
Not this season's, pardon me. The team under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
And of course, in Mourinho's first season in charge of Real, Barcelona won the league.
Yeah.
Not by a lot.
Yeah.
Not by a lot. And in his second season, Real won the league.
Yeah.
And you would argue that Real were the better team
Yeah, definitely.
in the league.
Definitely.
Consistent results. They had a great player in Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And, you know, they deserve the credit that they got.
Yeah.
Of course, this season, they're having second season syndrome.
Yeah, 11 points behind Barca.
11 points behind Barca, indeed. But if you look at Barcelona, they've picked up 40 points from 42 this season.
Wow.
That is fantastic. And the only 2 points they've dropped are against Real.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, effectively, this league is Barcelona and then the chasing pack.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, before it used to be a bimodal league where you had Real and Barcelona up top and everyone else at the bottom.
Yeah.
But now even Real have fallen.
Atletico
Even
Madrid
Barcelona
are
is the
in
only
second
team.
place, so
And Atletico in second place now.
Yeah.
But I think it's unfair for the fans to be booing Mourinho right now. So your club strings a few bad results. That's the time when you show your true support. That's the time when you get behind the club and you get behind the players. You let them know that they have your support.
yeah.
If your fans don't support the club, who's going to support the club then? And I think it's extremely unfair. And I think, you know, Real Madrid fans should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, I agree. And
If I were a Real Madrid fan, I would definitely be trying to
yeah.
support my club as much as possible.
Yeah, I agree, but it's a strange situation in Spain because I don't think he's ever really gotten on very well with the supporters. Maybe it's the brand of
Indeed, of
football.
course, most supporters must have realized that Mourinho, more than a club, manager, is a trophy hound.
Yeah.
He goes with as the most chance of winning trophies.
Yeah.
Remember, he joined Inter Milan at the time where Inter Milan were at the peak of their powers.
Yeah.
And right after they won the like 3 league titles in a row.
Yeah.
He joined them then. So you can see Mourinho picks the best time to join clubs.
Yeah. Well,
And
like you said, he's done a very good job at Madrid, and perhaps he feels that he should get more respect for that, not just from the fans, but from the press in general. And there's obviously a big Barca loving happening in Spain and around the world, and Mourinho perhaps feels disgruntled by that. And some of these issues boil over. We had the incident with Sergio Ramos that we discussed earlier on the show, where he was wearing Ozil's jersey. And
yes, we did.
so he's had some problems this season, and well, it looks like the marriage is going to come to an end, but we should keep an eye on that.
I'll tell you what, Jose, you bring back the Champions League and they won't even remember what happened in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, we also had PSG losing to Nice in the League One in France, which leaves them in 4th place, 5 points behind the league leaders.
I see.
That doesn't seem like much, but then when you look at PSG, just a team made out of money, more than players.
Yeah.
And, Ancelotti needs to get his stuff sorted because he's arguably got one of the best individual players in the world in Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
And, they need to get this stuff sorted. And then we also had Bayern against Dortmund.
Yeah.
Big clash of two incredible teams.
Yeah.
Two teams I love to watch play. And, of course, Bayern have got a big lead at the top of the Bundesliga. But they had a tough test. Well, how did that game turn out, Annie?
Yeah, very interesting game. All of Germany came to stop to watch that. And so it started off a lot of chances on both ends, I thought.
The very end-to-end.
Yeah, Badstuber had a bad injury in the first half. So keep an eye on that, whether he's available. I don't know what the news on that is. But so Bayern taking the lead. Great goal by Kroos, I have to say.
Great goal.
I mean, I wish we had a player like that at United. Someone from midfield who could take players on and actually score.
Totally incredible. He's not fast, but he's got that burst of pace.
Yeah.
And incredible ball control. I mean, you look at that guy, he's got great technical skills.
Absolutely, yeah. And then Dortmund hitting back with their own star, Mario Götze. And again, wish we had a player like him at United.
Oh, definitely. And these are two young German players. I'm scared to see what Germany is going to be like in 5 years with the international scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely incredible. Two class teams, and I think one all was a fair result.
Yeah.
Both teams played their hearts out, and a draw. Yep.
So, obviously, our weekly player salute now, and AK, would you like to do that?
I would love to do that. I love these player salutes, you know that. And our weekly player salute goes to one of my personal favorite footballers and a man I have idolized ever since I really started watching football. Sir, may that be so, David Beckham. And why I say that, why do we salute David Beckham, is because he, I think 2 or 3 days ago, won his second MLS Cup. Now you may be wondering, MLS, who cares? It's the American League. There's barely anyone playing there. But remember, this is a guy who's 37 years old and who's won league titles in 3 different countries with 3 different clubs.
Yeah.
And just a consummate professional. You don't meet a single person in the football field or in the football,
universe
system who would have a single bad thing to say about David Beckham.
Yeah.
The words you hear most about him are consummate, professional, dedicated, hardworking.
Absolutely, I agree.
Incredible.
Yeah. And his story in America has come to an end, and we'll all be interested in watching what he does next.
Well, he said that he wants to get one more crack at another club before he finally retires.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, I'd love to see Beckham spraying passes all the way till he's 50, as long as he can keep doing it on a regular basis. I just love to watch him play, and I've always loved to watch him play.
Yeah.
So let's see where he ends up now.
Yep.
All right, we also have a couple of games coming up now. We've got the Cluj game against CFR Cluj midweek in the Champions League.
Yep.
Not too important because we've already tied up first place.
Yep.
And we've got a huge game at the weekend against Manchester City. Those Manchester City. And your predictions for those 2 games, Annie?
So the Cluj game, I'm not really sure what to go for because I don't know what team Fergie's going to put out. But we're playing at home, and I'm optimistic that we can get a win. Hopefully 2-0 or 2-1. And for the Man City game, I think it's going to be a very difficult game. I'm not sure what the status on Vidic is, whether he'll play, because Fergie was saying he would give him an appearance against Cluj. So I don't know whether he would consider him fit enough to start versus City. But hopefully we can get a draw, 1-1. I would be happy with that. What about you?
Yeah, I think Cluj for me would be a 2-1. Probably United should win it.
Yeah.
Regardless of what team he puts out.
Yeah.
He will probably put out an under-strength team, but a decent enough team to take out Cluj.
Yeah.
So 2-1 for me, and Man City is so difficult to predict. City have been, you know, I would say consistent this season. They've been getting points on the board, even if they've not been playing well. And United have been leaking goals. It's so difficult to predict this. I'd go ahead and say a 2-1 win for Manchester United.
Brilliant.
Optimistically speaking.
Brilliant.
2-1 for me.
Lastly, just a bit of promotion as usual, guys. Thanks to all of you who've been watching the videos. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Get involved. Leave some comments if anything want us to discuss on the show. What are your opinions on the games we discussed? Follow us on Twitter, United Talk 19, and also like us on Facebook. Thank you and keep watching.
Thank you.